popping out with the best, You did, dudes. I'm popping out with the best, I let it fall into place. Splitting the cake and prorating the shake. And now I'm pushing the line, laying brick at a time. I'm putting them on, still getting mine. Making the calls, creating the sauce. Tracking every number, taking a loss. I know my money, I don't own nobody. Mama used to tell us, go be somebody. I'm here to serve. Gave my brothers the word. We ain't playing with you clowns, we ain't playing with you nerds. We here to provide on some real shit. Working hard over here, trying to build shit. Yeah, you see who I'm with, you know the fam, the truth. Ain't nothing wrong with us, there's something wrong with you. Figure that out before you make some noise. Say it with your chest and keep your mouth shut, boy.
Gotta keep my mood steady and focused. Ooh, never holding back, going through motions. Ooh, chasing money is the motive. Yeah, put in the time, they gonna notice. Yeah, just keep all of your family, friends, people riding to the end real close and watch it all unfold.
Still in the building with my nose up. Still with it, still fitted from my toes up. Still in the picture, still grinning from my close up. Quick to flip a coin for the bitch who nearly chose up. It's AP, Mr. Put It in Motion. And Doug's riding shotty, causing all the commotion. Cause I be with the illest names ever been spoken. Out to see high, baby, the hottest thing smoking. And we the new West, so I'ma ride with it. Young and reckless, feel like I'm in my prime with it. Blind side, so I'ma light the skylight. This little light of mine, boy, I'ma shine with it. I stress one thing and one thing only. Stay up out of minds if you really don't know me. Hey, don't talk about it, be about it, show me. Hey, don't talk about it, see about it, homie.
Gotta keep my mood steady and focused. Ooh, never holding back, going through motions. Ooh, chasing money is the motive. Yeah, put in the time, they gonna notice. Yeah, just keep all of your family, friends, people riding to the end real close and watch it all unfold. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Somebody tell my niggas they ain't gotta die to get put on my shit. You ain't gotta die for me, bro, I want you to live. I'm talking like this shit a diary, there's some shit I did. If ever they should find out, no doubt I'm doing 100 years. Facts, something you niggas know nothing about. Cap, you hold this shit when you moving about. Keyboard gangster, net banging, man, this shit for real. They sell my keys and hit the streets, boy, I'm in the field. Deeper than just rap, on my mama, I can't fabricate it. Started the label in a cell, facing aggravators. Devils trying to trick me out my purpose, bitch, I know my worth. Can lock me down, but when I dream, bet I leave this earth. Broke free from them chains, it's to buy a new one. A Jesus piece for my strength, I'm a knit like Torn. Boy, you a fraud, run up on me, this gun to applaud. Hollywood, the big dog, dudes got the sauce.
Gotta keep my mood steady and focused. Ooh, never holding back, going through motions. Ooh, chasing money is the motive. Yeah, put in the time, they gonna notice. Yeah, just keep all of your family, friends, people riding to the end real close and watch it all unfold. Yeah, yeah.
Welcome. Take 3. Solovi, it's Budah's Lounge. We're coming to you live from Mortgage Lending Studios, courtesy of a Panther, West High Panther, Lisa Piella. Once a Panther, always a Panther. The West is not for, the W is not for YNI, it's for West High School right here in Salt Lake City, one of the oldest high schools in Utah. I have the distinct pleasure of sitting down next to my cousin, father, husband, philanthropist, coach, mentor. You've been helping kids out for a long time. I'm gonna get right into it. June, if you wouldn't mind, I want to ask you about before music, before coaching. What was your hustle like? What was Junior Solovi like before coaching and music?
I mean,
what were you doing?
For me, but I was putting, a lot of people don't know, I played soccer growing up. Those around me that are really close to me know that, and I actually really excelled at it. So as a young man,
there's not a lot of polys in soccer.
And that was the thing. My parents realized, hey, I wasn't gonna be one of those big polys, so really wanted to put me into another sport that maybe could excel, that was different.
Yeah.
And really loved it, really enjoyed it, and continued to enjoy it through the whole time. But as I got to, junior high where everybody was playing football, and I could have played football and that would have been really good, but I was excelling. And so my parents were kind of like, no, you're going to stay here. You're going to do that.
Found something that works.
Yeah. And I really started to, really travel a lot, travel the country. I made the U.S. team, the under-17 teams. And
okay, hold on.
Yeah.
It sounds like you were on board with what mom and dad had, right? You were picking up what they were putting down, right?
Yeah.
With soccer. Did you feel any pressure just because our people don't play soccer? I mean, we just had a movie where we just scored 1 goal. Next goal wins, and we could have used you, man.
Well, no, I mean, I think there's always a pressure that you put on yourself that's not really there.
Mm-hmm.
So you see what people are doing around you, and they're not really giving you a hard time necessarily, but you feel like there is because that pressure as a youth, because everybody else is doing something else. All your friends, all your cousins. So I think it was more of an internal pressure, less than anybody else was like, why are you doing that?
Yeah. Was that your first uncomfortable situation?
Yeah, definitely is the first, because it wasn't the cool thing to do in this community.
Yeah.
You
How short were your shorts though? With it? Anyway, and I'm not gonna lie, but I'm sure they probably mistaken you for a Hispanic. I mean, because you're light skinned, They go like, oh yeah, bring what's his name again? Tuna, come.
No, it was definitely a great experience, and like I said, one of the special times of my life that I cherish so much.
Actually, it's not surprising now. Now that I'm putting 2 and 2 together, you always did have good footwork. I remember us playing basketball. You always stepped back the 3. You always knew where the 3 was. I always knew you had good peripheral when we were playing basketball. You always had to put your head on the swivel. So maybe a lot of that footwork came from early on.
I think I encourage it. I mean, I think the feet work in soccer, to be honest, is the one sport that can cross over to a lot of other sports. Now, I mean, I ain't going to say that it's going to help you take a hit in football.
Wait, I see soccer players go down.
But as far as the whole idea is not to get hit.
Got you.
But again, for me, I don't think I appreciate it as much as I do now. Yeah. The vision that my parents had for me.
You were good. You made the U.S. team.
The thing is I was also a knucklehead. So,
we're related.
Yeah.
That's not a surprise. Okay.
So that's where a lot of it went to the wayside. Found myself, got in trouble, and I lost it all. Had a lot of scholarship opportunities, and just, you just assume that, everything's going to be all right, everything could be okay, but it wasn't. I was playing with fire.
Yeah.
And just like, I'm not getting caught doing this. Oh, okay. And just being a young kid and thinking it was cool, but it wasn't.
And also, let's be honest, a lot of the athletes who actually attain a level of success that you did, doors open so much more easier. It's just the way of life.
Yeah.
It is. When you're doing something, and I'm sure you had a lot of soccer fans who loved soccer, and because you were excelling, they wanted to put you in their circles, be on our team, be on our practice squad, whatever, right?
No, I mean, it's definitely as you excel, those doors open and you feel invincible. But I was living a double life, and it wasn't necessarily a double life. I chose some of these things knowing that they were wrong. It was, but I used, it's exciting, and I felt invincible, but it all catches up, and it did, and I lost it all.
Would you redo it? If you had a chance to go back and redo it, would you not do some of the things that you did, or would you leave it the way it is?
I mean, I think your life is never where it's at without some of those things happening, but I think I would be wrong by saying that, if I were to do it again, I would definitely not do and make a lot of those decisions that I made, so
yeah.
It's something that's a piece of me, and I take it with me, and it really pushes me to where I'm at now.
If you wouldn't mind, let's segue into your high school career.
Yeah.
For me, I always believe that whatever you learn in high school, the relationships and anything that you forge in high school, those are the relationships that will stay for you. Whether they're good or bad, they will always stay for you for some reason. And I try to pull some of those lessons for my life as I'm living it now. So I want to see what it was like for you in high school.
Life for me in high school, man, it was fun. I mean, we were young Rose Park kids, and our community is one of the few communities that Tongans, Samoans, Polynesians in general, they just really get along. I mean, really tight, close friends. And I would say my high school life was fun until I got locked up. But I would say growing up in Rose Park at that time was probably some of the most cherished moments. We were so close. And to this day, they're all still my closest friends. So, growing up in high school to me was we were doing a lot of stupid what young kids would do, but as far as the friendship I have, they're all still very close.
If you wouldn't mind, I would just want to touch on that, just because there is a stigma with people who have trouble sometimes in high school, right? I tell people I got in trouble because I did it for fun. I was bored. I didn't have because I have a mom, I have a dad. We come from a good background. They have jobs. You know what I mean? It's not the typical one-parent family that you could put an excuse on why your kid is bad, right? They were looking at me like, you ain't got no reason to act up.
No, I mean,
that's
that's 100%. Every time I would get pulled into some kind of say, hey, something must have happened, or, it must be because you got hit as a kid. And I was like, no, I knew exactly what I was doing. Right? I knew I was wrong. I knew my not
it wasn't the devil. I did it.
Yeah, no, it had nothing to do with me getting hit. I'm getting hit because I deserve to get hit. Yeah. And there was no, this abuse or whatever, they want to use the excuse now. No, man, I knew what I was doing. We thought it was fun, and we thought we could push the limits, and pushing the limits was exciting. And, a lot of us, fell to crossing that line.
I'll tell you a story of how crazy I know Rose Park people are, in a good way, way. Now, this is my first encounter with Rose Park. I just came from Samoa. I'm in California for Talofa, buddy. Shut your. So I come, and we're at Viola Ward. We're at the chapel over there in Bountiful, Farmington, whatever. We're playing basketball, and then that night it snows. Now I'm staying at Uncle Pengy's house, right? Yeah. It's my first time. Guess who shows up in a van with rope and a mattress? It's Jeremiah, and Foy. These freaking fools show up, and they want. Leroy, I bet you've never been hooky bobby. Of course, I've never been hooky bobby. I don't know what the hell that is. These fools put me on the back of the mattress and dragged me all over Rose Park. And I'm like, Sully, and I can just see Foy just laughing.
No, I mean, that's what I mean about that time. Growing up in Rose Park, I mean, that was it. That was constant. We did everything together, everything stupid, crazy.
And it wasn't me. No. It wasn't.
That was definitely something we all did. Grabbed in Curtis's big old green Suburban. And,
wait, did you guys push it out just like when he did?
You know what?
And didn't turn the engine on? Wait, what?
There was definitely a lot of that going on at that time too. But yeah, man, it was just a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It sounds like the sisterhood pants, but the boys version, man. It's great. It's great growing up. Is what I'm saying.
It was great growing up, man. We took a lot of pride in where we came from. That didn't always come off right to a lot of people out there, but for us, it was super important that we represented who we were, where we were from, and to this day, the community and the families that are from there. You can live wherever you're living in the country, out of the country. You see someone from Rose Park, or they ask you where you're from. You're from Rose Park. You take it to heart, in everything you're doing. So it's always with me.
It's definitely something other communities would love to crave. Once you come and feel that it's really family. I mean, you guys really treat it like family. Once somebody comes in and feels it, you can't unsee it, and you'll crave it, and you'll want to have that for your own setting, for your own neighborhood, and for your own family. It sounds like you still have a great bunch of family friends from Rose Park. You guys still tight-knit. Outside of high school, did you start DJing? Did you know you had this gift to move people with music in high school?
I didn't know. I just know I loved it. We grew up in Rose Park where the first DJ crew started. Salt Lake Posse at that time. Obviously Jeff Iono and
what's up, Jeff?
Cole.
The Closet? Oh my gosh, not the Closet.
So it was, they started. I mean, I was just intrigued. I started DJing at 11. And 11 or 12, and I think about it now. I could not believe now that how much my parents trusted these dudes. We were going out. They were taking me to places I should never go.
We won't talk about that because we have similar stories.
But Salt Lake Posse was the DJ crew, and it was like a crew of 15 to 20 good friends that music brought everybody together, and I was intrigued. And so they would, the only way I could really get out of the house, I'd be like, I'm going to go with these guys. They had me carrying these crates. There was a club at the time, it was called The Mix, and it was just like, I remember going in these places. I wasn't old enough, but at that time, they were just like, you're with these guys. they were the only ones doing all the church dances.
Yeah.
And so I was just intrigued on how much they were moving the crowd. And so I was really the youngest out of that crew. And there was a lot of us, but I was really the youngest. And, whenever I could get time, these guys would be on the turntables, would be in different houses. I'd have to wait till everybody was like full out, dead asleep. I could get up there.
June, they're passed out.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
So I wasn't really allowed to touch this stuff, but I was on there sneaking, but I just loved it. I loved music. I loved the way it made people move, but Salt Lake Posse, that DJ crew really taught me a lot. Again, all guys from Rose Park.
When's the reunion? There's got to be a reunion. Now would be a good time to bring back the Salt Lake Posse, have a reunion, show, and have them showcased so the young guys can see where it all started from.
There's still a lot of guys out there. Shout out to Don. Obviously, there's always, unfortunately, a lot of when we do get together, it's always been a funeral. Rest in peace to obviously Coley and Jeff. Those guys were really the forefathers of and the godfathers of really what Rose Park is today. I mean, it's a lot of people don't realize the Jets were from Rose Park. There was a lot of talent that came through this neighborhood, and it's a lot of talent from a combination of people moving from LA, Hawaii, but it's for me DJing from a young age, from 11 all the way through, was been crucial.
I noticed how you failed to mention the Rose Park drill team, but it's all right. It's fine.
Hey, shout out to the drill team.
Man, no, seriously, innovation. You guys did not care what people thought about having fun.
Yeah.
Good, clean, family fun.
Yeah, that's what it was. And that's what it still is.
Here, here's another thing I would say. Even if you're not from Rose Park, if somebody from Rose Park brought you, everybody treated you like family.
Yeah,
everybody was nice to you. I have felt that.
Yeah, you could come, you could be there for 10 days or a week. And if you're just there and you're involved, like the community's gonna embrace you. There's a lot of bad stigma that comes with it, but that really comes from the community was just proud and stuck together. Through fights, through anything, whether it was right or wrong, the community always stuck together.
And a lot of those early years, maybe some of those things got taken out of context, and then a neighborhood all of a sudden become labeled as a gang.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. And you know what? Again, a lot of things came out of it that we wish didn't. But it really is the culture and what created really who we are today, and the good, the bad, the ugly is all created the neighborhood.
What with that said, the trust that your parents gave you to go out there and do these gigs, and you now have the freedom. Right? I got to imagine you have this feeling of freedom that now I can try anything, like a safety net, right? If I do this, I'm going to be safe enough because my parents trust me. Was there that feeling that you had a safety net that I'm going to try DJing? It's foreign, but my parents are supporting me, and I got this this safety net, so I'm gonna go give it a shot.
My parents had no idea. They knew what was really going on. There was no way they let me hang out with these guys. But
tell it all.
But again, I learned a ton. I learned a ton from all these guys because it wasn't just out doing this with me. I just learned how to have fun. And if I were to really just keep saying, I mean, there's so many people and so many pieces to that Salt Lake Posse, to that DJ crew, to the community, to everybody extended from that. It's like, I mean, you could go on and on for 2 or 3 hours, but I'm telling you, man, from the neighborhood, and similar neighborhoods like that, from Laie, Kahuku, Hahula, it's similar, very tight-knit, a lot of talent, a lot of creativity has come out of it.
We're talking with Coach Olosaa, Junior Solovi, head coach of the West High School boys football program and the girls varsity basketball program. I want to just kind of put a bow on the music conversation before we go take a break and come back and talk about coaching. When it comes to your legacy in music, I've already seen you forging that, planting the seed with Malachi, your son, and other DJs. Is that where your legacy is going to reside with the future generation? Are you going to continue to teach? Are you going to continue to try to move crowds?
Yeah, I mean, I think for years I thought, no way I'm going to be DJing at the age I'm at. But I really got to a place, man, I just love it. I love it. It's fun, and as long as it's still fun, I'm going to continue to do it. So I think my legacy, I don't know if I have a legacy out there because each person, even Malachi, You know, I mean, DJ Malfunction has his own.
Yeah.
You know, but what he takes is similar to what we all took from Solid Posse, which is it still comes down to feel good music. You know, and that's what I would take from it off. If the legacy of DJs out there in the Valley, I think there's so many DJs out there, and part of DJing is taking a little bit of what others are doing, and that's what I've done. Other DJs out there, they're so gifted, they're so creative, and you definitely take some from not just who I've been around, but other guys that are out there, from Specialists and DJ Lepdog, and you know,
Oh my gosh.
and you know, obviously Honeycombs and Bag, and there's so many great DJs out there.
Yep. Well, this is the other thing that I know about you, and everybody knows this too, that, you know, Junior never likes to take the light. He always likes to highlight all the other DJs. Here I am asking about him, and you heard him. He's naming all these other. No, seriously. I really. That's one thing that I think why people love you and they gravitate to you. Let's end with this before we get to a song. Tell me about one of the craziest crowds you got to move, whether it was 2 or whether it was 100, and how you did it. Because as we were talking about this, a DJ has to feel the crowd, and if they're not moving, you got to find. You got like a coach. You got to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
Right. Give me one of those stories, one of those crazy stories that you always go to that says, you know what, I was here worse before. I had 5 people, and I got them up there with the electric dance.
Any DJ out there saying they didn't have a crowd where there was like 5 to 10 people there, they're lying. You know, but the key to great DJing and storytelling, I would say in that, is can you move a crowd of 5, 10, 15? Because I would tell you a crowd of 5,000, that's easy. That's easy if you're good at what you do, you know. But can you move a crowd of 10 where there's nobody there and they're just like, they can have fun and act and look around and just, I said, that's the true challenge. And every DJ goes through that. Every DJ goes through that moment of, whether it's the beginning of a gig where you're either an opening DJ in a club or even opening at a regular church dance, ain't nobody coming there early. You got to take the first 5 to 10 people and hope you get them up to get the next 20 to 30 or 40. So that's the key. The storytelling, man. Yeah. The good DJs has less to do about talent, about their skills, and more, can you tell a story? Can you create an environment where 5 or 5,000? And I think the group, the big crowds of 5 and big concerts, I think those are always fun, and there's a lot of story to be told. So, but to me, it's having the talent of like, well, this is an uncomfortable crowd, maybe a genre that I'm not comfortable with. Can I still be creative? Can I move this crowd? And that's always the goal for any good DJ, is putting your ego to the side, because what you think you're good at, it's still about the crowd. Yeah. It's always about the crowd.
You might show you how good you are, but if they're not dancing,
they could care less.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Yeah. I appreciate that. We're going to take a break here. We'll play a song. The question that I'm going to ask at the end, I want to ask it here so that people can marinate on it, because it has to do with music. At the end, I would love for you to answer the question, what album right now, any album in music industry would describe your current season? If we played it, it would be Junior Solovi current season. What is the album that says it is Junior Olosaa Solovi? We'll answer that at the end of the show. I just want you to marinate on it right now. And people marinate on it right now, but we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about coaching. What in the music business, what in DJing did Junior take and apply it to coaching that made it so successful? We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Keep listening.
The G-Rise be OYZ puffin' OZs, bumpin' ODs, homies only, and wasn't no busters allowed. And if there ever was, they getting clowned by me down and sent to the pad where they feelings hurt. Looking like a trick in the mini skirt, but couldn't nobody clown more than Malisco. He got my niggas on the go toes. That's on the real though. Nigga at the G-Rise when we play, schooling any outsider for days, and Dominoes, Nintendo's paid to back down. We bucking and blowing niggas' pockets up like a candy.
Be like random, select them MK2. And nigga, this be the way we bring in, so back up, fool, until I am. D-O-W double N. who banging at a call scene right off the 110. And niggas know who we be, where we be serving G's out this industry. It's that young G with that BB entourage.
Coming out the G-Ride. G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Man, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Oh boy, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Man, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Oh boy, that's the G-Ride.
Now vision my mirage, smoking clouds in the G-Rides. Blows to the dome for show. Make a nigga pause down for the cause. Man, I'm telling y'all, don't be reaching for your sacks if you got no balls. So swing low, stay high, mind my toe. Easy on that ride, heavy on that dodo. Deep as hell in the back, breaking sacks. And the homies that ain't with that, they sipping on that. But now it's time for an intermission. Just a little session, but don't forget to mention Fireman ready.
Don't miss the fly.
My fireman ready.
We taking off tonight.
Fireman ready.
So you best to try hard
Fireman ready.
for the flight to
We
part.
having a session. Fireman ready. Session. Fireman we having a session. Fireman ready. Session. Fireman ready at the G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Man, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Oh boy, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Man, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Oh boy, that's the G-Ride.
Would it be complete without a roll call? Now here we go, y'all. To my homie Swab overseas in the military. To the homies east, say your ass about the penitentiary. To my nigga Fitz, running with the rebels. They don't want shoot, try to stay level. To my homie Super Dave, you gotta maintain. What's up to see me newly June G and Pele? Big Spang, oh boy, keep making bang. Keep your head high, you done served your five. That's right, but hold tight, man, we got more riders than you niggas will ever meet in your life. And what we mean about riding, we be down for whatever. Side to down, June, down for whatever. Lefty, clown, and dude, down for whatever. KJ, D-Bo, H-Bomb, down for whatever. So till death do we part, until then we'll be party. Much love and respect to Auntie Ruby, our guardian. At the G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Man, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe
But you ain't know it.
R-A-G-E.
Man, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
Oh, that's the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe R-A-G-E.
That's my niggas from the G-Ride.
G-double-E apostrophe.
Oh, you ain't know it.
That's crazy. Welcome back to Budah's Lounge. It is a live stream, live podcast, and we take questions. Somebody's asking questions about Coach Solovi. So you were born in Samoa.
Born in Samoa,
He
yes.
was just telling me this crazy story. You almost got deported.
Almost
We're gonna get the coaching. I got to get this story. You almost got deported.
Almost got deported. You know, after 9/11, they had passed a new immigration rule where when you renew your license, I was a UPS driver at the time, and my
What
license
was Brown
was
do
expired.
for you? Anyway, yeah.
You're supposed to get it done before January 1st, or you're going to have to show that you had two proofs of you're a citizen. So for years, I knew I had my Social Security card, but my dad used to always tell me, leave your citizenship certificate with me. And, you know, being the Fia Poco, yeah, I said, no, I can have it. Well, I lost it.
Oh,
and I
man.
thought, oh, no big deal.
They have it on file.
They have it on file. Let
Yeah.
me call the number up. Nah. They call a number. You got to go in and go through the whole process, and then everything's written. So you got to send it in, the application. If there's anything wrong, it could be another 2 months before they send it back.
Wow.
Well, fast forward, you only get a temporary license at 6 months at a time. After a year of going back and forth, you know, I had like one more opportunity where there was a 60-day window, and I actually was approved. That said they was, but the picture that I had on the citizenship certificate was when I was a kid. So they basically were like, "You need to prove this is you."
Wait, you got to put a diaper on, sir. Put your head down.
So I was pulled in to the UPS office, and they were like, "If this isn't taken care of in 45 days, you know, Homeland Security is going to come and deport you until it was done." So then I got really nervous.
As you should.
Yeah, got really nervous, you know, and trying to figure it out, and it finally, you know, was able to get that taken care of. But yeah,
Man.
born in Samoa, didn't grow up in Samoa, moved to the States as a young kid. But yeah, I was gonna have my first experience of living in Samoa at that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad everything worked out for
Yeah.
you. And Fiopoko, ask your parents about that word, what
Yeah.
that means.
Don't
Yes.
lose your citizenship certificate.
And when your dad says leave it with him, leave it with him. Thank you again for joining us. We're talking with Coach Olosaa Jr. Solovi. He's the head coach, football coach at West. Also the girls' head basketball coach. I want to segue from your early living, your hustle as a DJ, UPS driver. When did you start coaching? When did you know was it a calling? Did somebody say, hey, we need you to coach the young men's basketball team? Is that how you knew you started coaching?
You know, I started coaching because, I was mostly in the basketball world because we were playing a lot of ball at that time and just coaching basketball. But my son's Little League football team couldn't win a game, couldn't score a touchdown. I mean, it was like 50-0 at halftime.
Wow.
And they couldn't get a volunteer to help their team. And I was just like, I could win one game, Got involved with that and got involved with another coach actually brought me on. His name is Mario Cardenas.
Oh, yeah.
Brought me,
What's up, Mario?
Yeah.
Those handcuffs are too tight, by the way. Just wanted to say, too
he
tight.
brought me on and, we just kind of took off from there, really studied and really, really got into it. And man, that was just a really good team. We weren't even really talented, but it was just a true inspiration of like kids that weren't the most talented came together and we started winning championships and started going from there. And I just caught that coaching bug.
Well, now you call it a coaching bug, but as you stated earlier, it's a lot like storytelling.
Yes.
What part of coaching that you felt was satisfying, the same way DJing was? Because you can DJ very well, you coach very well. There's got to be what are the similarities that draw you to both of those that make you a better coach? Maybe it's the storytelling. I don't know. How do you combine those two things?
Storytelling, again, with DJing is the same thing with coaching. It's the response from the kids. The kids don't really care how much you know or, they can see right through if you don't know all that. What they want to see is, are you genuine? You really care for them? And it goes a long way. The response from the kids was what was the bug for me. It's the same thing with DJing. It's the response from the crowd that keeps you in that, man, I want to keep doing this. And I felt, I don't know if I would say it would be my calling, but it was one of those where I was just like, man, I really love doing this. Is this something I could continue to doing?
You enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it, yeah.
So is it too, do I oversimplify it by saying there's a saying that really fits with you? If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
No, it's 100%. It's 100% of I really, before I would just think like, yeah, that's just one of those sayings people throw out there. But I could 100% vouch that if you find something you're really passionate about, it doesn't feel like work, and you will stay up all night. You will do things to improve at it. And especially when you have kids involved and they're really depending on you to be prepared and to have something for them to kind of grow off of. But it's a mutual thing, man. To me, I've been around a lot of coaches that have a lot of knowledge, have no connection to the kids. They could get on the board, I know this, I know that, and have all this experience, and they don't do well because there's no connection to the kids.
There's something missing.
There's something missing, and that's, to me, DJing, coaching is storytelling. Can you tell a story?
It's obvious that the athlete, the student athlete, is important to you, the development, and just like a parent, the fruits of your labor are in the kids.
Yeah.
Right? You see, if they succeed, you succeed. You're a coach, right? What I wanted to ask about is in the championship game, right? So you're already successful, whether you win a championship or not. Your goal is succeeded by the success of the kids, right? But I got to ask you about the championship. What does it feel? It's a different level. You work all your life to get to a championship. Tell me about your very first championship as a football coach. I imagine it was at East. I don't know where it was at, but whether it was Little League, but the very first time you ever felt that championship hoisted on
was
you.
in Little League. I mean, that team, previous year with Malachi and those guys, the Little League team, they couldn't win a game, couldn't score, couldn't do it. I mean, the very next year, we win the championship. The following year they win another one. Following year they win another one. And so it was a true testament. I said it was one of those where like, man, these kids are actually listening, and they you know, they have no idea I don't know what the hell I'm talking about right now. You know what I mean? But it was man, it was so inspiring to see it come together because that team was terrible. You know,
from where they came from to where they were at.
And this was a full, just the next year,
Wow.
they ended up winning the championship. And that was my first experience of championships was in those little leagues.
Be honest, how many parents send out film to NFL scouts? Just kidding. Because that was a bad year. Y'all had a great year, right? The next year, like, man, my kid's gonna do it.
Well, I mean, I think it's the toughest part for kids is parents. You know, I did it to my kids where it was like, it was too serious. It was too like, we got to do this and that. Took the fun out of it.
That's me too.
And so I did a really good job of coaching it and being like, hey, but I did a terrible job with my older kids of creating a fun environment because they still would have been, but I was like, it was not fun. It was business.
I'm going to pivot here since we brought up kids. How do you separate being dad and coach? I have the toughest time. I had to step away. I had to come and coach with you in order to actually be some kind of a good coach. But when I'm with my kids, it's very hard for me to separate the dad and the coach. I haven't learned that nuance.
I think it's really hard to coach your kids. I think I even in high school, I tried not to coach my kids. But I think it's really hard because your natural instinct, well, I mean, for most people is you don't want to look like you're favoring your kids. Yeah. Well, because you don't want to look like you're favoring your kids, you actually hurt your kids because they're the first ones.
Is that a poly thing or is that just a parent thing?
Well, you still have coaches on the other end where they're like, their kid could be the worst player out there.
Well, you got to start.
They're playing them like crazy. But for me on the other end, you know, my kids played a dear price because I was the first one to, you know, I was really hard on them, critiqued them worse than everybody else. If someone needed to be pulled out, they're gonna be pulled out.
Oh my gosh!
You know, if they're doing too good, you don't want them to look too good. Yeah. You know, so I don't think,
or if they're celebrating like everybody else, what are you doing?
Yeah. So I think for me, coaching your kids, there isn't really an easy way to do it. I think it's tough, you know. But I also was the best time of my life as I got older each year because I learned how to enjoy it. And I'll tell you, man, I just miss it. I miss it so much. I miss my kids being around, you know, and enjoying that time. I really miss that.
I wanted to ask, again, you know, so everybody knows we're talking with Coach Olosaa, Junior Solovi. This is not a show where we bring people up and we try to, you know, throw drama or shade, whatever, you know, and I talked to you about this before, but I wouldn't really be asking or doing this podcast justice if I didn't ask you about things that went on at East, because you guys, it was a magical run, right? And to see Batman and Robin, I'm just paraphrasing, to see Batman and Robin split, right? And then you go to West and then Matic stays at East. That was the talk. Whether there was anything, I don't know if there was anything, but that was a big, I remember that was all anybody ever talked about when they heard that you were leaving. I know why you left. We'll talk about that, but I gotta ask, you know, straight from the horse's mouth, if you will, and y'all want to know, because we all like to fight kakala. But what all went down? Is there anything that you can share? And I'm not asking you to throw shade. I love Coach Matic. He's a good guy. But just what happened? Maybe there's a misunderstanding.
Well,
I'm giving you a chance.
You know, first of all, I spent 9 years at East. I think a lot of people don't realize I was there for a long time. I really didn't have an itch to be a head coach, to be honest. Like, matter of fact, I kind of hate being a head coach. I love coaching. I don't like the head coach part with all the extra part that comes with it. You know, the story with having Matic is really nothing more. I mean, you know, first of all, the East community, what was so great about it was, you know, like I said before, you're so much in your bubble in Rose Park. What East did for me was get me out of that bubble. You know, so now I'm involved with the Glendale community. I'm involved with the East Side community, which never ever, and it was a great community to be a part of. You know, and I grew a lot from it. I grew so much from being there and being a part of that. And I consider Matic a mentor and a brother. Now, leaving it wasn't the easiest. The community was great, was happy for me. Wasn't happy necessarily I was leaving East, but was definitely happy for me to go home and go to West. Leaving Matic was a tough brotherhood to leave because we were so tight. You know, we were extremely tight. We did everything together, and you know, I really learned a lot from him in the football world of how to how to lead a program, how to do things a certain way, but we're right next door neighbors, being right next door neighbors. We had a lot of kids from the West community that were playing at East. So naturally, as I go to West, this is going to create some friction with where our job was to keep people at West.
Yeah.
And that came off in a lot of circles up there, I would say, with Matic as, me doing something to hurt him. And, and he just, it really strained our relationship. So now, I mean,
Was
we
it
don't
just the optics? Just the optics? It just
the
appeared.
optics of it, but for me, I still cherish that relationship. I still love the man, and that stuff to me still always can be right. I mean, it's football. You know what I mean?
Well, you taught me one thing when we were coaching, and I'm sure you apply it to football as well. Is that you won't let a sport burn a friendship.
You never allow sports to get. To me, relationships are the most important. That's still the relationship I cherish. People are like, well, how did I said, I'm telling you right now, Maddox retires or he's not at East or I'm not at West, like that's something that's gonna build off right again. I don't know what was said. I can't assume you hear all these things, but he didn't tell me that directly. He didn't say things. So, for me, I just cherish the time I was there.
Yeah.
I cherish the time I was there because that community embraced me. They didn't need to. They did a lot for me. Yeah. And then there was a lot of people from our community that came. Coach Brian Messina, S.C. Lautaimi, Tony Fonati came up there with us, John Satini, was with me on that staff. You obviously came, Taps. There was a lot of crucial people that came from Rose Park to be a part of that really built that environment. So
they're betting on community. They saw you, and I instantly fell in love with the culture because when we were all up there, John, Taps, there was this just brotherhood. It was crazy. And now looking back, I'm like, why in the hell did we break up? What are we doing? Right? I was just, but it was growth. It was growth. It had to happen for us to grow, and I saw that too. Yeah. That we wouldn't have grown this much if we were together. We probably could have won and done a lot of stuff, but the growth would not have been there. So it was really good that it had to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I would tell people I could have been comfortable. We were winning championships, and we had a lot of heartbreak too with football. We lost on a Hail Mary. Yeah. We lost in a championship where that team was like, there was no way we were gonna lose. We lost to a Britton Covey team in Tipview. Definitely. There were moments we got our coach. We had some real heartbreak, and then we had some really good moments. With a lot of great players. Yeah. I wish I could name them all, but there were so many great players. But I still look at that time and moment with the people that were around me at that time. We're all still big pieces in my life now. Even some of them are still either at East or in different places.
So the obvious question at this juncture in our conversation, people are probably saying, so then why did you go to West then? If everything was so good, and that's why I wanted to talk about that, because I don't think people know how much you really love your community, and it's different. You and I have talked about this. When you're in front of a general American crowd, a white crowd, let's just call it that, and you're moving them, and they approve you, they give you their validation. It's nice. It does feel good, but it feels different when your people are doing this and they're validating you. When you're performing at a high stage and your people validate you, it feels different.
No, it's
so to that. Please speak on why you went back to West.
I think the easy way. I think people think, oh, he's going home. He's the homegrown kid. That's the easy way. That's the easy answer.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the real truth is I was scared to death to take the job. I was scared to death. I was getting a pull to stay East. I was getting a pull to come to West, and people are like, man, you need to come do this, and you're gonna bring the community. A lot of people don't realize West was terrible for 20 years. They were in the dark. Like, that was like, people were considering that like a coaching grave. Like, yeah, you go there, that's a coaching grave.
Your career's
over. And a few things had happened, and one of those were, there was a few things that were said as far as you can't really do that. You can't really go and do it. I was actually gonna bomb the interview. I was just gonna go and like be plain Jane, and so I could, hey,
I'm gonna run sprints all day long.
I was just gonna
do up and down.
I could look at my community and be like, hey, I'm sorry they didn't hire me. I gotta stay at East.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah, but a few things were said, and wasn't said intentionally, but the things were said, and it kind of it forced me to grow. Was kind of like, well, you can't really do this, you can't really do that. Oh yeah, that's right, you can't. I was like, oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna really go after this job. I'm gonna really go for it. And then once I got in there, I was basically like, I'm gonna do this.
What do you mean you can't do this?
Yeah, but you got to remember, for 9 years, none of our wives wanted us to go back to West. None of our kids. They all knew East. That's what they knew.
That's a battle, man.
So they didn't know West like I did.
Yeah.
So there was.
They really had. So it sounded like they really had to trust you.
When there was a lot of people were pissed on both sides.
Yeah.
People were pissed at East that I left. We had just went back to back for girls basketball.
Right.
We had a team that was coming back. A football team was coming back. People in the West was like, our families were like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, our kids don't want to go. Our wives were like, "You're stupid." My wife, that's what she knew. She knew East. She's an East alum. She had nothing against West. But now, I mean, being home and seeing it, being the way that it's been nurtured and like the people, again.
Dude, I've been to your practices, man. What you talking about, man? That's a different community. I showed up. I'm like, who y'all playing? No, it's just practice. I'm like, y'all got drums. I see kava. I'm like, what is going on? Is that community really like that?
Hey, the community's for real. The community loves their community, loves their school. You could, like I said, grow up in West Valley, Provo, and you decide to come to that community that you might have thought you were born there, because that community, there's really no community to me to match it to. The only community I can say that mirrors it is the Kahuku community. And I don't think anything can touch that community. I think we all from afar are big fans of the community. Now, you could say,
their fans travel.
Yeah, and they go deep.
They deep.
I think we mirror ourselves from that, but we're different. We're truly our own community. But that community, if you can't sit here and say, man, that's awesome to watch and see, you're a hater.
Is that how I was talking about the validation from our people?
Yeah.
Do you feel that when you're there on the field coaching and you can feel behind you got hundreds of West Panthers, poly families,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you feel that, man. I don't know, June.
I mean, there's definitely a pressure that comes with the seat, and the part of that pressure is understand, hey, when you lose, you better be ready for that critique. Whether it's fair, whether it's not fair, you sign up for that. You sign up for that if you're a CEO of the company. If things ain't going well, guess what? They're coming after you. You at the top. So I understand that 100% completely. I embrace it. But I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy how this community comes together. I want to enjoy how everything is really turning. And that's the biggest thing for me right now is like, there is pressure, but the pressure brings the best out of you. And that's why you have to surround yourself with some of the best people around. And I've had some of the best assistants that are better than I am that has helped me, really create a vision for this program and this community.
Well, I'll say to you what we always say for people who are wanting to be head coaches. And I don't have an aspiration to be a head coach, but I would tell people you can't really be a good head coach until you become a good assistant coach. You got to be an assistant coach first to learn that. I mean, you could probably do that, but for me, if you really want the connection part, right?
Yeah.
You really got to help your head coach, and you got to help connect. And then once you do that, I think you'll be a more effective head coach.
You have to, man. You have to be able to follow, to be able to lead and create a vision. You can have the ego all you want. You can hoist up that trophy and say, I did it. But the reality is that's not the reality. We won those championships for basketball. I had Coach Budah. I had Coach John Satini, who was a crucial piece.
Yeah.
To not give credit to a guy like John for that would be crazy.
Even though he's a Laker fan.
Yeah. You still got Taps, Tina Ford. There was so many pieces.
You know what? I forgot. We had a eclectic group and everybody bought something.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know,
I had a blast.
Yeah, you think about those championships for football, it's the same thing. You know, again, I had Coach Messina, I had a lot of these guys really help surround and create that. So for me, that's where it's about when it comes to coaching, is the people and the kids and the families.
Storytelling.
Yes, storytelling.
We're talking with Coach Olosaa, Junior Solovi. We're going to take a quick break. We'll play a song. But when we come back, we're going to ask about legacy. We're going to talk about how does DJ Wiz unwind? And then that question, what album will describe your current season of your life right now? Shout out to Polycon, Miss Samoa USA in August, Pacific Fashion Show happening in April. Don't forget Friday, 10 a.m., Everyday People, Utah Pacifica chapter. Royal Lash Lounge is going to be in the building with your hostess from the Mostess, Cindy Satini. Saturday, 7 p.m., the most Pacific Islanders pro athletes on a rugby field, the Utah Warriors. And then shout out to, did you have a cupcake?
Yeah, man.
Those are Shone Fioko's daughter.
Oh, for real?
Those
are fire.
Yeah, those are Leah's. Leah's make those for a fundraiser.
I love that.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
Yeah, remember, I'm not going to tell your secret, Shone. We'll just leave it at that. But let's play a song. We'll come back, and then we'll finish those things. Legacy and what album says your life in your current season. We'll be right back.
Girl, I just hit your phone. No answer. Ain't even text me back with your manners. Like I ain't got your thong in my hamper. Like I ain't strip your clothes like poor dancers. Girl, I'm trying to get next to you. I don't mean to be pressing you, but you leave me on scene when I'm texting you. And you flex when I try to connect with you. Now you won't pick up. How you gon' switch up? Like I ain't ice your wrist of real vicious. And I made records about you, no Guinness. Like I ain't got the juice, bitch, I'm Bishop. Pick up the phone, girl, I'm falling. Tell me something's wrong with your plan. Pick up the phone, girl, I'm falling. Miss the telephone, man. Hook me up, can you hook me up? I need to get in touch. When I call and it won't go through. Then mama's man, she acting brand new. Miss the telephone, man. I was calling for, I had a bag for a voicemail when I try to get through. Little shawty, what you trying to do?
Baby, pick up, I'm tryna come through. Come around to and put it down on you. So baby, what's up? I got your phone blowing up. You see the missed calls, but you ain't hit me up. So baby, what's the reason? Tell me how you feeling. My baby got me feeling, and you know I need it. I'm not tryna hurt you, just tryna be your healing. Baby, when you get home, ring my phone up all night just to see what you own. I can't leave you alone, so tell me what's wrong and hit me back, cause it's been too long, yeah. You had me sprung thinking about how we began. Now you ain't picking up and I just need your touch. Got me on the line saying,
Miss the telephone, hook me up, can you hook me up? I need to get in touch. When I call and it won't go through. Then mama's man, she acting brand new. Miss the telephone, man. I was calling for, I had a bag for a voicemail when I try to get through.
It's T-Mac,
Little
baby.
shawty, what you trying to do?
It's T-Mac, baby, trying to get a hold of you. You probably get that wrong number, baby, tell the truth. Cause I ain't nothing new, playing like the mother dudes. Ain't no decision making, shit, we ain't gotta choose. Baby, this is something new. FaceTime me, baby, tell me what's on your mind. I know you ain't into my calls, just press decline. I'm on the top, little baby, I'm about to incline. I ain't any calls, I ain't good at goodbyes, no. It's the telephone, man. Oh no, there's something wrong with my line. When I dial my baby's number, I get a click every time. Look, I know I probably fucked up, I swear a nigga really done with that. And if you decide to leave, then I'm on the bag. Got me straight to voicemail, so I'm done with that. See, I'm just trying to talk, so baby, call me back.
Telephone, man, hook me up, can you hook me up? I need to get in touch. When I call and it won't go through. Then mama's man, she acting brand new. Miss the telephone, man. I was calling for, I had a bag for a voicemail when I try to get through.
Welcome back, man. This is an active live stream, man. Y'all some inquiring minds, man. Some Fika Kala. I was not Fika Kala. Sorry. Curious. Shout out to Lloyd. Shout out to Dee. Shout out to everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, you know, June, I say this all the time. If we don't tell our stories, nobody will.
Yeah.
You know, and I know this is not your forte to be in the limelight. But let's answer a couple of those questions that people were asking. You know, you heard some of them. Parents, you know, when it comes to sports, I've always said this: parents, we just haven't learned just let our kids do the sport and just be a spectator? Where do you lie on that?
I think there's a fine line between push and hovering, supporting, and being too much. And I would say, I say this to my staff all the time. I said, all of our drama always comes from adults. All the drama comes from adults because they want their kid to be the very best, but sometimes their skill set is not to be in the superstar. Sometimes their skill set is to be the best teammate. Yeah, to be and that specific sport might not be their number one talent. And I take that even all the way to my kids, and this is not a knock on my own kids, but like my kids weren't the most talented kids, but I'll tell you right now, I would put my kids' hard work, and it showed. Because at home, we were always, if I heard, oh, well, the coach is this, I was like, what does the coach have to do with you missing a layup? What does the coach have to do with any of that? What does the coach have to do with you playing hard? That's all nice and great, but that has nothing to do with you. I think we're parents, we grew up hard. Our parents weren't very, most parents coming here to the States, especially polys, they weren't into the clubs and hey, you know what? You go to school and then you come straight home, clean the room and do what you do.
We didn't get a cookie when we cried.
Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of, hey, it's all right, little time.
None of this.
Hey, I don't care what's going on, like fix your face and get it going. Yeah. Well, we went to a full circle and we don't want our kids to go through
none of what we went through.
Yeah, no kind of setback.
And don't be sad. Don't be sad.
That's the kind of growth they need.
Jeez.
If they're about to fail, you want to step in and stop them from failing.
I was watching, pardon the interruption, I think they said something that stuck with me. Nowadays, we have to, because how we grew up, our kids can't grow up that way. So we need to make sure that our kids are doing dangerous things safely.
Yeah.
So that they can have that, that uncomfortable situation that your parents put you in. That's what they were talking about.
We're too scared of our kids being uncomfortable. That we're too scared of our kids having tough moments. We're more worried about what everybody else is going to say instead of, hey, my kid is having problems with substance abuse, whatever it is. Instead of being like, hey, I need to reach out and find some help. The first thing in your mind is like, oh, I'm worried about what so-and-so in church is thinking about me. Oh, man, I don't have the perfect kid and so-and-so's going to, that's the biggest concern. It's the same thing when it comes to sports.
Wow.
Oh, my kid is having fun. He's doing well. He might not be the best, but hey, we're going to continue to have him push and be competitive. Now, we worried about everybody like, oh, well, so-and-so. And I was like, nobody came out of the womb of basketball, football player, volleyball player. And then the other part of it is our poly community everything is great in the athletics world. But the kid that wants to, study rocks or
music. Well, music, we might get a pass to it, music, but
certain kind of music.
Anything.
What if they want to go be in a symphony, be a violin? Like, even though we know that's a great talent, it's not celebrated. Like if
it's not our top tier.
Hey, that kid that's a superstar football player doesn't go to school at all, and we're gonna put this kid on a pedestal. But the kid that's doing everything he's supposed to, great violinist is excelling. Okay, it's because it's not comfortable. Yeah. The biggest thing we're trying to push right now for our community and our kids is, what is life look like without football? Nothing that you haven't heard, but really pushing these kids to be like, it's gonna end.
Yeah.
But if I tell a parent right now, hey, we have a parent meeting and I say, hey, listen, man, we're gonna hold these kids to a higher standard. The standard is a 2.0, but the standard we're gonna hold them to this really high standard.
Yeah.
Everything is cool until we hold them to that standard, and now you have families that are like, wait a minute, my kid needs to play.
I was about to ask you about that. That was one of the things I really wanted to cover is nobody told you, hey, you need to elevate this. There's a rhyme and a reason for everything you do. Yeah. Please, I would love to get your candid answer. Why do you demand more from your Pacific Island, from your team? Because anybody that's on your team, they're not all Polynesian sometimes. So why do you demand more from your team players when the school demands only 2.0 or 2.5? You want to lift it to 3.0. There's a rhyme and a reason. I need to hear this reason. I need for people to understand your vibe.
Well, because our parents taught us how to get here, how to survive, how to hustle, how to get here to the States. They didn't necessarily know how this community works. So what they're like, if there was a scale from 1 to 10, their 10 was get here to the States, get our families a home, you know, put a roof over there, get these kids here to give them an opportunity. That was a level 10.
Yeah.
Well, a level 10 now for this next generation is how to now we know how this system works, but how do we navigate the system? You know, so people are always like, what does that exactly mean? I said, okay, if you take your average Palangi family and you say, hey, what do you consider an airport job? Right? They're going to be like, oh, yeah, what's the next step? Hey, that's great. What's the next step? If you tell it to a poly, you know, you're great. You love the benefits. You love that all comes with it. But we haven't, we don't set the bar high enough now. It's not have anything to do with the airlines or being on the ramp. Like, hey, be the boss. Strive to be the person that's hiring. If you want to stay where you're at, cool. You excel in that. You're a great person in the community. You're there on time. That's all still to me at level 10.
Yeah.
For me is if we're not setting that bar high now, you know, our kids, our community knows how to do the athletic thing. We don't know what to do after athletics.
Where are we when we take athletics away? That I hear you asking the kids that a lot. You know, what would life be without football?
We're still a lost community when it comes to that.
And I'm not hearing from you that you know, the airport job is a crappy job. That's not what I'm hearing from you. Is if you're happy and you're contributing to the community, hey, all for you. And if that's your high level, it doesn't have to be everybody's high level.
It doesn't. Are you giving it everything you have? I'm saying, are you that lazy person that's on the ramp that, you know, everybody's like, oh gosh, I'm with this guy, he ain't doing nothing inside. Yeah. Or are you actually the employer, everybody's like, oh, I love working with this person. That's the same thing for me. You're leveling up because when someone's not watching, you're working hard.
Oh, my mom says that all the time. Don't do it in front of me. She says that all the time.
Well, I thought you were gonna say something else, but
wow. Hi, Mom. Hi,
no, but for me, it's just shooting the bar high. And I think what parents is, we're taking away the opportunity for our kids to grow by continually stepping in and buffering it because you're worried about what someone else thinks. That every decision, if you think about where polys run into problems is, oh man, I'm worried about
how I look, how I
appear. And like, come on, man, everybody's family's going through a struggle. Whether you want to put it to the forefront, to me, if you don't put it to the forefront, we can't help. The community can't help. If you continue to hide it, to me, you're not doing any justice for whether it's your kid, a brother. We all have siblings, kids, you know, cousins, first cousins who either struggle with drugs, struggle with, you know, being on the street. You know, I still have a little brother, I mean, doing 17, 18 years, you know, that I still love. And I know there's a light that's still there. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to act like he's not around all of a sudden.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I also have, you know, like my little brother Lloyd, we weren't close because we were so far in gap. And I thought maybe that relationship wasn't cool because we were so far. But we're really close now. And I wish, looking back, like, damn, but we didn't grow up with the, you know, the dads in the backyard throwing the ball to us. Like, I mean, we're watching movies. I'm like, I wish my dad would. Like,
is that really a thing? Yeah. You look at your dad. Dad, can we do that? Yes. Hey, go get me some ice water.
But we all grew up with parents that really set a great example that all of us rely on to this day. Yeah. You know, when you think I'm working hard, you know dang well our parents were working 20 times harder.
Yeah.
So my point is, set the bar where our parents had it. If that's what you're gonna do, then go all in and do it. Yeah. Be the best person.
Does having athletes at the top of their level, Polynesian athletes, for example, it's been a long while since we've had a Polynesian women basketball player that is getting national attention. For me, she's going to get her flowers, she's doing her own thing. For me, it's about the younger generation. I love that she is now a product that everybody can look at. But does it help the program? I haven't been able to see any impact, but I know she's doing things. Can you talk about that? How if you're a Polynesian athlete, you have this other extra, you know, responsibility just because you are Polynesian. If you're not Polynesian, you don't understand it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's a weight that you love though, and embrace that. I think all polys don't take they don't take it for granted, you know. But in the women's side, it's really, you know, really come a long way. Yeah. You know, and you look at like what Alyssa Pili, the pull that she's having. Mm-hmm. I mean, you see some of the numbers and the crowds that she's bringing. Yeah. You know, it's it's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch her embrace it and encourage.
Yeah.
You know, because in the poly world, women, you know, it's still very old school, very, you know, it's
Let's call it what it is. We treat our women like second-class citizens a lot of times.
They're expected to be
culture,
just, hey, you just take care of the home, and they're gonna be great mothers, and that's it. To see these others, you know, women kind of step out and embrace it and be like, hey, this is okay, and then all those things. I think that's what Tony Finau's done in golf.
Yeah.
You know, he's done for what
he
he's
stole
done.
the
is what-
series. That series, the golfing series they have on Netflix. Him and his family stole the show.
Yeah, I mean, you
know?
look at that. He's done for polys what Tiger Woods has done for minorities
Yeah.
in the whole. But yeah, man, I think Alyssa Peely, Pow from South Carolina. You see some of them, and you see a lot.
Iowa
of players.
girl breaking the record. I mean,
Yeah.
it's this is a really good year. The LSU girl, this is a really good year for women's basketball.
Yeah.
I would love to see her go in the top 5 WNBA draft.
Yeah.
That would be something really cool for our Pacific Islander people. I wanted to ask about a couple of things as we wrap up. How do you unwind? Who looks good in the brackets this year? The men and women. And then, you know, what album describes your current season?
Me, for unwinding, it's still music. You know, it's listening to music, listening to good, feel good, old school R&B. You know, I'm more of an R&B, old school head. I still listen. Island reggae is still a thing, but for me, feel good music always puts me in that space. So any new music that has that feel good vibe, you know, that's for me, the unwinding. That's where the DJing and different things is really helps, because it's all unwinding for me, you know. And then just being with my family, man. It's just, I think anytime, that's been the growth for me is, you know, you could be doing a lot of things and you could excuse it as, oh, it's community stuff and those are great things, and you have nothing for your family. And so, you know, for me, the experience of like going through the heartaches of being like, you know, because in your mind you're like, this is all great. What's the problem? Well, the problem is you've spent everything you've had, and I'm still learning that. You know, when you talk about that balance, I don't think there is a balance. I think the balance is when you're home, be home. I'm trying, you know, when I'm with my kids, be with my kids, and there's still a transition even with my kids, you know, where they constantly like, you know, it's easy for you to talk to these people, but like then you don't really come and talk to us. You know, you have this like, well, you should know that, but they, you know, they still need to hear the "I'm proud of you."
Oh,
that's
man.
that's not a poly thing. To it's not like you're not encouraged to say it, but it's not one of those things we grew up hearing all the time.
Yeah,
and it's something for us going into this first, you know, we're all first generation kids still.
Yeah, we
really need to be more affectionate, say it out loud. I'm proud of you. So proud of you. You know, so proud of my kids. They, you know, they have their struggles. I'm so proud of Malachi as, you know, to me, he's a way better DJ than I am. But, you know, I'm proud to be a Solovi. I'm proud of seeing what my little brother, what he's doing. Proud to see what you guys are doing
me
here.
season, right? You're saying, look, it's again, it goes back to oversimplifying. If we don't tell our stories, nobody else will. If you don't give yourself flowers, you might be waiting for somebody to give you flowers. Ain't nobody gonna give you flowers.
I mean, we need to really take more advantage of the time that we have, and I think that's something that if there is a message out there for me to tell one, the wine time for you, for anything you do, still should be the quality time you are with your family. You know, yes, you need your time. Yes, you need that personal time, but you know, for me, my advice would be able to say things out loud that you might think is, they should know that. No, they know that they want to hear it.
They know it for sure when you say it.
Yeah. You know, so that's where I'm at with that. Now, what was the other question?
The last one is, if you were to pick an album that, what album right now would currently accurately state your current season in your life?
Current season, past season, future season, for me, it's still Life After Death with Biggie. You know, that there is life in a loss. There's in life when you lose someone special. There's life when, you know, your personal life feels like it's falling apart. There's life when you feel like your faith in God is being tested. You know, whatever religion you practice, you know, for me is God is still there, your parents are still there. There's life if your feelings were hurt from your parents, you know, or, you know, you knew you lied about something, you stole something, you're an addict that continues to relapse, there is life after that so-called death. And we really need to celebrate life. And so Life After Death, that you go through that whole album, he talks about a lot of, about, you know, from, if you even talk about going back to Cali, you know, the 10 Commandments he has on there, you know. So, you know, for me, that album is a crucial part, but, you know, why I do like R&B and I rely on that, because it still talks about love, you know. So Life After Death, the album, to me, it still comes down to love and feel good, and you know, and being proud of who you are, and that's what I am, man. I'm just proud to be here, proud of who I am as a person, and what we're continuing to do, but also really want to encourage to put those people, put all that, whatever so-called drama, surround yourself with people that was gonna really push you. Put all that, whatever so-called, if you said something to somebody, you still got time, man. There's still life. There's still life after that so-called death of a relationship. And so, man, you know what? I'm really, you know, really want to enjoy the time I have with my family, with my friends, with you know, the coaches and people that really are the people that really make who I am.
Who's a bigger fan, your mom or your dad?
You know, I think my mom's a big fan. I think making my dad as a fan has been one of the biggest accomplishments, because my dad was not happy that I left East, you know?
Oh, I know.
He was not happy, but, you know, seeing them, I could tell they're proud. And I told you this earlier, a lot of the decisions I make is based on, I want to be around my parents, you know, and my parents are truly the inspiration of who I want to be, and it's the reason why I make a lot of decisions I make right now, you know. So I love my parents.
I'm going to ask you about that. I just heard that you did get a nice coaching offer. It's at a big school.
Yeah.
But you said no. Why you say no?
So I want to be around my family. You know, my parents are still alive. You know, where we're able to enjoy them, conversate. My family's here, my siblings live close, my nieces, my cousins, my kids, my grandkids. They all live close to me. That's all you really have, is that time with them. You have your disagreements, you have your moments where you don't always on the same page, but you know, I got, everywhere I've gone, like my family's been, you know, whether it's going to Vegas to see Lena, or, you know, with Netta.
Not Lena. Not Netta.
You know, coming back from New Zealand with Kareen, and, you know, you just cherish those moments. Yeah. But to still have my, you know, to still have my parents on this earth, not everybody does. I want to enjoy. There's not a job or amount of money that is more important than being around my, you know, obviously my wife and my kids and my family. And so my coaching style comes from that, comes from surrounding myself with better people that know and understand where my blind spots are. And there are so many people to thank, but it's my family that's the most important.
When are you going to hang it up? When do you retire?
When it's not fun, when I feel like I'm not making an impact, you know, and I think everybody knows when that time comes, and if that time comes, I feel like I'm not making an impact and it's not fun, you know, it's not about me. If the kids aren't responding and they're not having fun and they're not getting the success or feel like they're being put, then I need to step aside, because it's always about the kids, it's always about the team that you're a part of and the community. So I mean, just a shout out to those communities that I've been able to be a part of. Those communities really have really helped me.
We've been talking to Olosaa Junior Solovi coach, Solovi, and those of you who know him, it's very hard for him to get. So I'm very appreciative of you, and I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us. We're gonna play one song as we say goodbye. Is there any way, what can we plug for you? Is there a fundraiser? Is there anything that West has going on right now for the football boys, for the basketball, for anything? I want to give you these couple of minutes to shout out any of those things that our people can come out in droves and help. Y'all drive all the way out to Orem to buy those butter rolls. Y'all go get sweets, Hawaiian. I'm just saying, let's support. Let's drive. If we're going to drive around, let's try to support each other. What do you got that we can help you with?
Well, we got a few fundraisers coming up. We got a big telethon coming up in the next couple months. We're taking our girls volleyball team, our football team to Georgia. And so we're going to go in August. And so we're going to start to really, do that. West High Pisa, who's ran by Sia Satini. She's helping out with that. Lloyd is running the West High Poly alumni. They're a big part of what we're doing. We just really need involvement, man. Big involvement. Just be there for study hall. Yeah. Study hall Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday. We just need hands on deck.
We do broadcast the telethon. We did PICTAR's telethon. We did a 24-hour telethon. So, if there's something that we can do to help out, to help raise money.
$10,000 donation. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Technical difficulties. We're having technical difficulties. This is over-the-counter equipment, Junior. Remember, I don't coach anymore over there. I'm broke.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No, thank you. We really want to try to do something to help out, give back. I don't know, maybe I'll come back to coaching next year. Cindy's got me really busy. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now.
Well, you look like you're having a lot of fun.
I'm having a lot of things.
It's nice to see a smile back on your face. Thank you to Cindy and whoever's helping with that. It's really nice to see that, man.
My cousins really know me. No, we'll play one song and we'll just talk. We'll say goodbye when we come back. Thank you so much for coming on and being a trailblazer and letting the young men know you don't have to always get to the NFL. You don't always have to get to the NBA to live your dream. Yeah. You're living proof that you could have everything you want, even if it's not being a millionaire. You're a millionaire because you got friends and you got family. I know you got a couple zeros on the end of your check too, but let's not talk about that. Whoa. So let's play a song. We'll come back and say goodbye. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up. Coach Solovi. We'll be right back.
Appreciate you, brother.
Let's go, my dude. Let's go.
This girl, she walked in like she knew about that life. Gotta give it to her proper. About to show her a good night. Said, I'm the one going around getting it in for sure. Said, you think you've been playing me, but girl, you need to know. Girl, you just got the time you want to fit spread around the globe. If you want a chicken, better see him falling on the floor. So yeah, I let you get it like a starter on the coach. You think you have me, I'ma have you something you should know. Girl, don't you roll with me, you don't know how to play. Said you're picking up the paddle, but you just don't know the game. Better believe me when I'm telling you. Yeah, said you ain't about that life unless you're the ride or die type. I don't mind if I'm riding with you. Girl, don't you roll. Better open up your eyes. Don't think you know what I mean when I say right. Yeah, this is me. This is what I'm all about. If you with it, we gon' ride it more. Yeah. Think you really got it, you ain't even starting with this gas, you know. So strap up your seatbelt, rolling out the door. Think you're passing the T well, class ain't even on. I'm practically well grounded in the zone. You think you have me down, but there's something you should know. Girl, don't you roll with me, you don't know how to play. Said you're picking up the paddle, but you just don't know the game. Better believe me when I'm telling you. Yeah, said you ain't about that life unless you're the ride or die type. I don't mind if I'm riding with you.
Girl, don't you roll with me. You don't know how to play. Said you're picking up the paddle, but you just don't know the game. Better believe me when I'm telling you. Yeah, said you ain't about that life unless you're the ride or die type of life.
Life After Death. Welcome back. Life After Death. Biggie Smalls. That is the album that says everything about Coach Solovi. That's our time. Thank you so much.
Hey,
really
thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Good luck to you in the season, and keep inspiring those young people. As we say on Everyday People, please be kind. If you guys need a DJ for your baptisms, bar mitzvahs, weddings, and divorces, DJ Malfunction. Bye. Love you guys. Love you, Jimmy. Appreciate you. Thank you, bro.
Love you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, I had to do it. I want to do it. I wanted to make sure that was done.
All right, we are done.
Thank you.